Here we go. Welcome back to Nick Lenz's Comic Corner, Classic Us Non-Classics. This is episode number 3405, Doubleshot number 3299. Well, first up, we're discussing The Walking Dead. Yep, this is The Walking Dead Volume 25. Yeah, the thing you have no more compendiums. It was like 3 of them, and I managed to get through most series quickly. I only have about 49 issues left to review for the whole series. So, this book in particular collects issues 145 to 150. Of course, yeah, Rob Kirkman basically is on the writing, gets his series, Charlie Adler on the artwork. So, we pick up right where the compendium left off, where you have all those heads, and they proceed to have them all removed and buried, and, well, of everyone who died. Yeah, and they also apparently take time to stab all the heads because there was a risk of turning into walkers. So yeah, they buried them. Where the bodies are, they don't really say what the bodies are. They just remove them. Yeah, and then they start burying them, of course. And then pretty much the rest of the community is informed what happened with the walkers. And this basically, now, everybody's obviously upset with the Whisperers for doing what they did. And the fact that, well, all Rick wants to do at this point just to increase a little more patrols, and the rest of the community actually want actual warfare with the Whisperers because they killed their people. But he's not ready yet for that. And of course, Maggie informs Rick that he executed Gregory, and of course he asks, why did you do that for? And then, of course, basically, they start a fight. But looking up, basically, Rick gets the point. But he's fine. He, of course, goes home. And, well, after everybody's informed. Like, well, yeah, we have our daughter, the Alpha. Yeah, the leader of the Whisperers is known simply as Alpha. The thing with the Whisperers are, with exception of basically Sophia, who is the daughter of Alpha, like, a lot of the members, Kirkman does not give them names at all. They're just, the best way to describe the Whisperers is, what they do is that they kill walkers, and they skin them, and wear their skin to blend in so they can get bitten. I would think after a while, basically, they would stink. But no, they do this for some weird reason. It's a weird habit of theirs. And at one point, Mahone tries to go after him, but she's talked down. Then also another point, there was a few people who didn't like what Rick was doing. And of course, Sophia decided pointing gun at Andrea's head, but looking up, basically, no. She stopped. And yeah, and then of course because because of the fact he saw her crying, she proceeds to slit his throat. Yep. He challenged me. He's done. No, he didn't. He just basically found you crying. So, yeah, and they want to go now. And Rick's like, nope, not ready. And of course, basically, they start a fight. And then later on, of course, basically, Rick goes to visit Negan for info, but he's not letting them out. Basically, just informing basically what the heck is going on. Oh yeah, and then of course, basically, it's not Maggie, it's somebody else. because I can tell. And then this girl who's here with Dwayne, he proceeds to make out with him. Doesn't go anywhere. Also, Carl and Sophia, well, they continue having sex. Because, you know, that's what they want to do. And as of currently, they're like the only ones shown doing this. Pre-game skipped several people were doing this. Now they kind of slow that down, like just Carl doing it, which is fine. And also Dwayne proceeded to he basically something. He packages things, opens a cabinet, and he takes out Lucille, Negan's bat that he took as a spoil of war with the Saviors. And he basically goes out probably to hunt some, of course, Dwight. And of course, Laura comes with him. And then, of course, people try to gang up on Rick because they don't like the fact they think he's taking too long. And then biting. Yeah, lots of biting happening to stop them. Oh yeah, and then of course Andrea comes back home to kind of see her stepson having sex. But she says nothing about it. She's a bit shocked, but she just leaves him alone. Yeah. And of course, when he cleaned up, of course, he basically informs me what's going on. Somebody may not hurt. I was attacked last night by 2 of our own. I found myself to survive against 2 of our own. My attackers felt I wasn't taking action fast enough. Maybe they're right. The truth is, I'm afraid. So, yeah. Now he's actually, because of this attack, instead of executing these people, like in the case of Maggie, who proceeds to execute Gregory for actually trying to poison her, Rick does not go down that route. He basically needs her help. And, well, they unite, and basically Negan just says, attaboy, and now they're going to prepare to go to war with the Whispers. And that's the book. Yep, pretty good. I give the book roughly a 9 out of 10. Still got a little while to go here. Like, how many more issues left to review? At this point, 43. Yep, 43. Alright, so next up we have is the Hackslash Deluxe Edition Volume 3, which contains issues 18 through, excuse me, I think it's looks like it's 29, and looks like the annual, correct? Actually, it was 18 and 32, a one-shot, and I think there's an annual here too. Yes. One thing the book does follow up with was basically the lesbian angle. They do follow up with that girl again, but that gets wrapped up quickly because, according to Cassie, she's like, nah, I'm not really into this at all, and it gets dropped. First, we have Closer. We have this weird horse creature, and we also have this woman with these tusks coming on her face. Her body is gorgeous. I mean, a gorgeous body, but it has a weird face. And then we have what appears to be like a father and his 2 kids just swimming, and then blood. And then the father takes his daughter out of the pool because the blood probably comes from Cassie. Oh, we find out this woman of what her face looks like. And then we have like a robot, and then we have more slashers. Well, wannabe slashers. To take on, well, Slash. And then comes the woman who's Cassie's girlfriend. They do break up not long after this. As for the reason why in the world that Sealy probably felt as though it ran its course. He probably didn't think it needed to go any longer, so he basically didn't break up anyways. Oh yeah, and here's what the woman looks like without. This is the female character here. Yeah, just weird cave woman here. Yeah, and of course her top is about the. Yeah, it's a parched nipple, so I just wanted to show the face, but yeah. So also her horn got knocked off, and then like she gets stabbed by her own horn. Oh yeah, and this guy, and of course, well. Oh yeah, then we have the son of Simhan killer. Son of Simhan, he pops up, and he actually comes cast his new love interest after this girl is dropped from the series. Then basically, Cassie's put in an orange jumpsuit. Then she's able to escape, and then she wakes up where she's dressed like a camp counselor from 80s slash movie. And then we have these 6 people who want to eliminate her, and she beats them up, slices them up, beats them all up, and then the Son of Samahan slasher just absorbs one of them. Then we got the Mind Killer, where it's like, yeah, this weird creature, and of course, ice cream. You would think at what point does Cass pick up a girlfriend? Soon. Oh, don't worry, it's soon. Yeah. So he'll leave, and all of a sudden, basically, Slash. Actually, the old lady proceeds to drive a cop car right inside the precinct. Plays the guitar and, well, brings back this dead rocker. And, well, then there's some blood, and then weird tentacles. Yeah, it becomes really weird. And don't worry, the guy gets defeated. He's like a slasher rock star. And then Cassie and her girlfriend just have more sex, and then she attempts to, but then she breaks up with him, or her. Yep, they break up, and then we have double feature. More killer stuff here. Like, basically, as an adult, I enjoy this stuff. It is interesting though, so far, the only, like, crossover she's had at this point in time just been with Herbert West from Reanimator and Chucky. Yeah. Then we have sort of a other dimensional thing. Yeah, more adult stuff here. They have Sons of Man, that's a thing here, where it's basically set at sort of a semi-strip club. Yeah, and then of course basically they kind of make up, and then gives a weird look and runs back to her house. Well, probably because the Son of Samahan is here. Yeah. More crazy shenanigans. Oh yeah, and then Cassie proceeds to make out with Son of Samahan. That's what they call him. Oh yeah, then Slash is like carrying her. They sound like they're not really entangled with each other at all. I mean, could you imply Slash has a thing for Cassie? Tim Silla doesn't write that way at all. Basically, he just sees he writes her. He writes him as sort of like a big brother to her. Yeah. That's what I can tell anyways, how he rates the character. Mm-hmm. Of course, somehow he gets part of his mask ripped off, and then he just kills. He slices up some girl there. And then Cassie fights him and then hops on his arms, makes out with him. He doesn't know what he's doing, and then of course basically they attempt to escape. And then the blonde hair girl comes with him, and then of course you have Foes of Fortune. And then Cassie looks like she's doing some ritual. Well, then she's woken up by San Samahan. And by the way, she's basically wearing not much anything at all. And then they proceed to make out and proceed to have sex. Which doesn't go over... Actually, you think, oh, it's sex. Nope, it's a dream. Yep, Cassie's basically having a sex dream. And Sasha's like, okay, I'm leaving. Yeah. As you're doing, you gotta read the comic. Only if you're adult. Don't have kids read this thing. Because this book is not for kids at all. It's basically for adults. Well, the youngest I probably recommend is maybe... probably 16. 16 is probably the youngest I recommend, but not little kids. No, not little kids. So yeah, more slasher stuff here. Then looks like Cassie just hops in this coffin with water, where she gets in butt naked with a book. Then reads a spell, bites her hand, and then she gets possessed. Brings in Slash. Becomes really weird. And then becomes sort of a weird stuff with Cassie. Then Slash like, okay, I'm stopping you now. And of course carries her butt naked away from the coffin. And she puts on this outfit to put some clothes on because she's completely naked. Oh yeah, and then we have this zombie attacking people, which Cassie deals with him too. 28 is a weird one. Yeah. So this issue in particular is a parody of Archie. Yep. Believe it or not, Tim Silla did a parody of Archie. It is, the best way to describe it is what if basically it was like taken more seriously, and also having one of the girls have like gills for her chest, which was weird. And become random monsters. It's a fun issue. Got a very interesting idea. And then we have Super Psychic Sleepover Daughter. Slaughter Daughter. Prequel. Yep. Slumber Party. Yep. And then we see one of the people in this house where it's a guy who's chubby, wearing underwear. And then for some random reason, Tim Silla threw in the Deadly the Golden Age Daredevil for a quick cameo. Yeah, despite the fact that the weird thing with this character is that I had heard like about 20 years basically that Eric Larson bought this guy at an auction, put him in the comic book, and then for some weird reason they actually had the character have a series published by Dynamite by Gail Simone, which lasts about 12 issues. So either Eric Larson licensed a character he owned, or he sold it to Dynamite. Who knows? And now it becomes basically like an old Golden Age horror comic with this artwork here, which I do appreciate that. Mm-hmm. Yep. And then we have another comic here called Clue Comics. And this is basically like first is like Golden Age horror. Now we're moving to sort of more like Bronze Age horror with the style artwork. Yeah, it's more like Bronze Age style artwork based on the style of the cover. It's 328. I'm sure that's a nod to Detective Comics 328. It's not 328 for Hackslash. It's basically not Detective Comics 328. Yeah, so this book here is a nod to Batman. Yep. And then more weird stuff here. At one point we even have like a spoof of like Black Canary if she was basically having a skull face, and believe it or not, Swamp Thing. I'm sure that Tim Seeley probably wanted to include Swamp Thing in the book, but he probably didn't want to face a lawsuit from DC, so had him altered, even though it kind of looks like Swamp Thing. And the girl obviously looks like Black Canary, but can't show the face, so. And you have this old guy called Nightmare fighting here too. Yep. So it's like, yeah, Cass is fighting up against Golden Age horror, and then dude called Scarlet Sister Sacrilege and Ultra Boy. Yes, we have two killers called this, and this is how they dress. You're like, what in the world? Yeah, Tim Seeley can get really weird with this stuff. And then Cassie wakes up at some bed where apparently she wakes up and her pants are down to her ankles for reasons. And a woman walks in. She does barely get to put some clothes on. They go hiking, and of course we have a little superhero stuff, and everybody just recreates those old school heroes. Which I appreciate the stuff here as a longtime superhero fan. A fan of Super Comics. Yeah, it's like they're just having fun, but then it gets more weird and creepy. But one of them killing each other. And then have one woman basically just tied to a bed wearing nothing but a bathrobe. And then, of course, what appears to be her husband is underwear. Yeah. It gets weird, but fun weird. Yeah, and the woman here is called Venus. And then we have Halloween. Yes. Where... And then for some weird reason, Cassie wears a shirt that makes her a nod to Freddy Krueger. And if you're curious, did she ever take on Freddy Krueger? To my knowledge, no, she's never fought Freddy Krueger. Yeah, and you know, it was also really weird though that Tim Seeley, as far as like I read a lot of Hackslash comics. One thing would be really interesting if she ever did this, because technically in a way it's not owned by a smart company. I'm like, why not have her fight basically Angela for the Sleepaway Camp series? But no, not really. As I'm curious though, I have no idea who has the current publication rights published Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, or even Halloween comics. Yeah. So this here becomes sort of a semi-nod to, I'm guessing, not Friday the 13th, basically it's more like, yeah, let's fight zombies. So it's kind of partial nod to Evil Dead. Still a lot of fun. Yeah, a lot of fun. Should probably soon wrap it up. And then I come to the first annual for Hackslash. I think it's one of like 3 that the series had. Where, yeah, deal with New Jersey Devil. And you'll think, oh, this woman's obviously naked, but they cover up her part of her breast with her hair. Yep, and fights the New Jersey Devil, because why not? Yeah. And then we have pinups in the book, and that's it. But yeah, pretty good book overall. I think there's still one more book for the. I think there's still a little more for First Find for Hackslash to go for Devil's Due. Still got more books to go for Hackslash, but I'm really enjoying doing Hackslash, like reviewing it anyways. But there's that. So that's pretty much a particular video. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe to notifications. Oh, I give this Deluxe Edition a 9 out of 10. So I would do more tonight, but it's getting kind of late, so I'm gonna do it tomorrow, probably after the Christmas stuff is done. Okay. So the other videos looking for tomorrow. Probably gonna be a haul video for Christmas, Sentai, and one comic corner. Okay. See you tomorrow. Bye.